My full name is Haider Kazmi,
Which year were you born in?
1933,
Where?
in Allahabad in India. But after that I came to Pakistan after the partition of India. So that was in 1948. Came to Pakistan and settled down in Karachi. I came in 1960, but I was absolutely disgusted to see the Heathrow airport, disappointed rather. And because there was only one building which is known as Queen's Building, which is still there. And there was no terminal and there was nothing, but it was just a sort of edge where especially a barracks, whereas the soldiers sort of thing, they live sort of, and the runway was very close, we actually walked from there to this place, and immigration was there. But of course there was no problem for that, but I was thinking that might be something very, very beautiful and all that. Of course, now see that time and now, the Heathrow airport, there's no match at all. I mean, it's fantastic. And every year there is some sort of developments going on. There is still some discussions going on for a Terminal 5, 6 runways and other runways. So these are the achievements, of course, have taken place in this part of the world, in England. One friend of mine who unfortunately not in this part of the world anymore, he died. His name is Barrister Rai Siddiqui. He came before I came, and we were college friends. A couple of other friends were there also. So he helped me a lot. So he arranged in the Pakistan hostel my stay that time for a few weeks. Then later on shifted in Earl's Court. Mostly the people at that time used to come here and they used to live in a bedsitter because I was a bachelor and so didn't have much problem to find this. But of course, I did feel lonely for quite some time. Though there was, because my friends, they couldn't give me the company all the time. But whenever we decided to meet, we used to meet in the coffee house. We used to go in High Street, Kensington. It's a walking distance. There are a few coffee houses, but it's not as beautiful as it is now. There's a tremendous amount of changes have taken place. I got the first job in GLC, they used to call it Greater London County Council, which is near Westminster Bridge. So I went there first time, the first job I went, and I got it, the office job. So I worked there for a couple of months.
Why did you come here in the first place?
Well, that's a good question. I, as a matter of fact, did not come with the idea to come down and work here and settle down here. Since I was working in the airline, so I had the advantage and I had the benefits of traveling on certain concessions. So I actually, when I came here, I came as a visitor with the idea to go back.
Just describe to me when you came to this bedsitter probably from a family environment. What was the atmosphere like? What did you have to do in the bedsitter?
Yes, in the bedsitter, well, as I said, when I decided to stay, and of course I had to take a permanent job, a place, and then I got the job also. So I used to go to my office in the morning, to work in the Greater London County Council. Well, I found a very good atmosphere there. All the directors or the people were extremely good, I can't say that. So courteous, I can't say that. When you are going from one room to another, they used to hold the door. First you saw, all courtesy is there. There's nobody can beat. I must say one thing about English people. In the whole world, they're the most polite and courteous in it. But of course, I must say one thing more. That time was something different. So a lot of changes have taken place. Probably it is just because of the environment, because of the amenities of life, because of population, congestion, requirements, housing problems, transport problems, so many things could be there. So most of the time the people are so, they don't have time. But that time the life was very simple in a way. So I used to go to work there, and I have to be very honest, I cried few times near the Westminster Bridge after the office hours, because I didn't know where to go, what to do, because my friends, of course, they are also working, they have gone to their place. But gradually I consoled myself. I said it's a part of life. Then I felt lonely because I left my family and my brothers, sisters, relations, and all that. So, but gradually I picked it up.
So it's just the prospect of going back to
The
that one
process
room.
was, as far as the to lead the life, to carry on, was a bit difficult in a way, emotionally. Otherwise, the job was there. Money was not a problem. That there was things were very cheap at that time. People, the shops used to earn £7-8 a week only at the till. I was lucky. I got a job in the office about £12-14 a week. That was quite sufficient for me to live. Rent was not so expensive. Bedsitter and transportation was not so, food was not so expensive. Of course, being a Muslim, there was some problem to get the halal meat and all that. But one has to keep it up as the environment says. But later on, the people when they came, they started this sort of business.
So what about heating? Did you feel cold at all?
Heating is a good question. Heating was a problem at that time because central heating was not that available at that time. We used to use the electric heaters, which was quite expensive. So, and the weather was very cold. In winter, it was very cold. We used to have rain, rain and cold. It was so cold, my God. Everywhere, so slippery, so bad. So what we used to do, that before we used to go to bed, then we used to put the heater on just for half an hour, 1 hour. By the time, we get a little warm, electricity, the meter has gone off. So these were the sort of problems were there. But now, of course, things are entirely different.
When did you decide to get married? I mean, you'd been here.
Married. Well, I came here, didn't have an idea of marriage at all at that time. Of course, I had some friends, some girlfriends and all that. That goes with the age. Used to go to the clubs in British Council, and there was one in Great Portland Street. There was a big social club gathering there. So we used to have fun. Because at that time, I remember a lot of the girls and the boys, they used to come from the continent to learn English here, Opia girls, Opia men. The people, the rich people, they used to employ them to do the domestic job. And they used to get 1 or 2 days off to go to college and this. So we used to have a lot of fun like that, you see. That was quite, of course, but the life carried on like that. Well, then I've been going to Pakistan in between. Of course, I got married late, but my parents wanted that I should get married in Pakistan. So when after a couple of years staying here, then I went, after about 68, after a couple of years, I went back to Pakistan. But I was there about 10, 12 years. But then at that time I got married there.
So then you came back again. Why
Then I
did you
came back.
decide to come back again?
Because I found the things that life was which was here much better than in comparison to to my country, and not to say bad about our own country. Of course, I would still like. There's one thing I must say, that if I have money, if I have a good accommodation, if I've got a private source of income, I would still prefer to live in Pakistan, because the life is many things you miss, social contact, social activities. Here, of course, you have got to do everything and all that, but at the same time, you enjoy the other benefits, what you get from here, particularly from the governments also, if you are in trouble, medical, national health, social services, and all sort of things, you see. At your age, old age, all these facilities you get. So that is wonderful. I mean, you can't beat them, it is very difficult. So I went and then I lived there, then I came back. I used to live at that time when I came, I lived so Alscourt, it is the same area, I can't remember exactly. In this block I moved in 1985 because I already applied for the accommodation. So I got it in 1985. I registered myself at the town hall. Yeah, I used to live in Gloucester Road at that time when I got myself registered. Then I got this flat in 1985. Well, in all these places, I mean, Regent Park, Alscourt area, Brompton, Knightsbridge, and this area of Bayswater, all these areas we used to go whenever we have time or whenever we decided to meet somewhere with friends for, used to go for shopping or used to go and pass the evening socially and all that, and the life goes on, carries on like that. But the only thing is this, what I want to say is this, that as far as the progress is concerned, the development of concern in the entire borough of this, which I have seen, is no doubt about it. It is coming up every time. For instance, in this block there was only one lift. It was an old lift. We had a lot of problems when I moved in here, but later on, I think, I don't remember exactly, a couple of years ago, now they have got 2 lifts now. So when there is a problem, one is on, one is back, but the job is done very quickly.
You said you got a job when you first came with the GLC.
Yeah, GLC.
Was it that easy in those days? You just walk in and get a job?
I'm telling you, I just walked in there. That was the first, I mean, I was looking for the job, but didn't know where to go. The friend of mine, he said, you better go. Rais Siddiqui told me, or somebody said, just mentioned, go to GLC. To GLC, they used to call it, Greater London County Council. So I went there and I was just called for the interview with the director. He asked me a few questions. When did you come and all that? And what was the purpose of your visit? Yeah, of course, I think I was asked that, don't you want to go back? But I said, no, but I like everything so nice here. So I want to carry on here. This was the reason, because I told him how I came here and how long I spent, 4 weeks or something, looking for, as a visitor, a tourist. And then he said, now I said, I have to, if I'm going to live here, I must earn my living. So he appreciated that. It's very good. I said, you like the place? It's very good. I'm very happy. And he gave me the job. So I immediately joined. And no problem.
You've lived here 25 years in this building.
In this block, yeah. But before I got this place, when they offered me, since I had wrong information, wrong to some extent, I was a bit scared to come here, to be very frank, 25 years ago. When I was given this block of flats, this accommodation by the council, by the housing department. So, because the news I used to read and all that, so when I was talking in the office in the housing department, this gentleman said, the things have changed now. You better go, you will find something different, what you have heard.
So, in what way has life got better here, and how has it got worse? Is there any downside?
Now, the life here when I came in this where I'm living now, this a particular area you mean, it was not as good as it is now. There is no doubt about it. Here at that time, because I have also lived in Nottingham Gate, in Chepstow Court, for quite some time, the people used to get scared, no doubt about it, late in the night, because there have been some incidents, there have been some problems. But now, gradually, the government and the council have overcome those problems. I was mugged twice myself, there's no doubt about it. Once I was mugged in the lift. There was an old lift when I moved in here. Because at that time, this area was not that good. I mean, considered a bit rough in a way. But the Kensington Borough, they have overcome and they have taken proper action. People were sent to the court also for the justice sake and all that, but they have eliminated all the bad people from there. So people feel much better now, they feel safer, no doubt about it, in the whole area.
Talking about 2001, after the Twin Tower incident, there was a
yes.
lot of hostility toward Muslims in
Yes.
this country. It still continues to some extent.
Yes.
So, how did you react to that? Did you have any?
Well, the reaction could be only, I should think so, that you should try to make the people understand. It's not what you people think about the hostility. It is not that, because the Muslim people, they are, as a matter of fact, they are very reconciled. I mean, they can cooperate at any time, at any stage. They are not fanatic people. All of them, they are not like that. Some of them they may be, but it doesn't mean you can't have a general impression. You can't think that everybody is like that. It is not. And according to our religion, according to our Islam, and we don't have those sort of teachings at all. We don't believe in these things at all. We respect each and every nation. This is in our religion. And that is our motto all the time. To help the people, to try the people, trust the people, and nothing to go against them. Of course, unless there is something personal, is a vendetta or sort of thing, that's, you can't help it. That's a different thing. But our nation is not like that. That of course the people think that Muslims are some part of the people, so they think like that, but there is a wrong impression, wrong feeling.
But you had a very hard time when you first came.
Hard time in what sense you mean?
Emotionally.
Emotionally, yes.
Tell me about it a bit.
Emotionally, only the thing is this was, see, there are many reasons. For instance, now if I want to penetrate myself in an English society, it is not that easy to get in, because you have to have the same sort of level or same sort of coordination also. I mean, same sort of thinking and all that. But you do make some friends, no doubt about it. But obviously your culture is different, their culture is different. But there is no problem with doing that. But you have to maintain the same thing, which we Muslims sometimes they feel a bit difficult to do that. For instance, drinks, things like that. If you want to invite them, you have to reciprocal basis do that to keep your sort of environment same way. But these are the things, become a bit sort of hurdle, you can say, sort of doesn't make any unpleasantness, but it depends how far you want to go. Otherwise, everything is fine. This is not a hard time. Hard time in what sense? I mean, the only social activities only you can say. Because if you work, you are paid. If you have a transport problem, the transport is there, everything is there. So you can have a peaceful life if you want to have a peaceful way of living. That is not a problem. Otherwise, hardship is everywhere. You can't get, because the amenities of life is so much now. Now my children, they don't realize what problems people have before. Those they don't want to know even. This is the thing. Because the developments have taken place, the population has gone, environment has changed, the amenities of life, it's become much more than what it used to. People didn't have the fridge. I didn't have the fridge for a long time. I had no central heating, no hot water problems. Only for a certain time, or when I used to go for a bath, I used to put the coin to get the hot water. So these are the hardships, you can say that. But these children, new generation, they don't have these problems now. They are getting everything in the plate. But of course, this is their good luck. What can you say? We all worked hard. They get the benefit of it. So we are still happy that they are happy. These are
Thank you.